Yeah, I think if you look at the polls on average, Trump has closed the gap. If you just look at the national polls, her margin has dropped from about 3% to just under 2%. So there's some movement in that direction. I think the key thing, when you drill down and you look at those polls, when you look at undecided voters, and particularly voters who did not vote in 2016 and 2020, they're trending actually towards Harris. And so
they're trending towards Harris.
So what is very interesting is that there may be something going on kind of subterranean that we're missing when you just look at the top lines. To tell you the truth, this is so close. Everything is within the margin of error in every one of these battleground states. So it's very hard to know. I mean, it's possible that voters break on election day, the remaining voters, the undecided break in one direction, and we get a lopsided result, either in favor of Trump or in the Electoral College, a lopsided result. But it could happen the other way, where it comes down to 270 versus 268. I mean, we could end up with something extremely close.
Do you think, just for our viewers' nerves, because most of them will have a position on, that's the way they are, that lot. Do you think that they'll get a result on November the 6th?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm running an event at the LSC the evening of November 6th, and I'm already thinking about how we're going to deal with a non-result. It's possible that this thing runs for a couple days afterwards, because people are talking about, we're dealing with margins in just the tens of thousands of voters in Pennsylvania, in Michigan probably, potentially Wisconsin and Georgia. And it's very likely to be contested, the result as well. I think it's especially true if Trump loses.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. Not only contested, but also potential for disturbance as well. Yeah. I think I saw some really scary survey, and I'll get it slightly wrong here, but you might have seen it, so you can make me accurate. Between a quarter and a third of Americans think there could be some form of civil disturbance after the election.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a New York Times poll.
Terrifying.
Yeah, over the weekend. Yeah, it's amazing. I think, there are people who think that there could be violence, perhaps not in the nation's capital, but in state capitals where it's very close and it's contested. And I would say that voters are being really ginned up on both sides, but I think that Trump is already laying down the predicate about if he loses the race. The only way he could lose the race, given the momentum that you were talking about, that you mentioned at the top, is that it would have been stolen.